Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for listening, downloading, and subscribing to the latest edition of the 12 Kyle podcast. I'm 12 Kyle. Check this out. On this podcast, what I'm going to talk about is text rules. Believe it or not, there are rules to texting. I know with the advent of technology, it has enabled us to, stay in contact with people and be able to, reach them at a moment's notice, right? But some of you out there are violating the rules. I'm going to just put it like that. Some of you out there are violating the rules. There are spoken and some unspoken rules to texting. And that's what I want to talk about on this podcast. I'll be the first to admit, like for me, texting really became something that as the phones got bigger, it was easier to do. When you had the flip phone, you wasn't sending a lot of text because you had to type in the name and whatever you were typing in, you had to go through each letter on the dial pad. So that was a little bit more difficult. And then for someone like myself who came up in an era where we didn't have cell phones, all of this was new. So the idea of somebody being able to get in contact with you immediately, that was, that took a minute to kind of get used to be honest. Because like, I remember for me, like even in the 90s, like I was the last of my friends to get a pager. I think I had a pager like, this must have been like 98, 99. I know I just moved here to Atlanta. I moved here in 97 from South Carolina after I graduated from college. And I remember getting a pager in 1998. And I used to ride around with like $1,000 worth of quarters in my ashtray because I don't smoke. So where else would you put your quarters? And so, yeah, when people would page me, then I'd pull over and find a payphone. What a novel concept. Payphones. You don't see those around anymore. Nonetheless, pull over, payphone, use the pager, call whoever paged me or whatever the case may be. Then we moved into the 2000s. And again, the cell phones got bigger. They got rid of the flip phones. Everything became, a bigger phone so you could key in everything. The big thing was the BlackBerry. I remember I had a BlackBerry and I thought the BlackBerry was the greatest thing since sliced bread. And then slowly but surely I moved my way over to the iPhone. And, things change. And so again, people have access to you now, even when they don't necessarily need to communicate. So someone like me who grew up talking on the phone is now in the position where instead of talking, you can just send a text. And it's not awful or anything like that. It's just something that's different. Now, conversely, many of you who are listening, you grew up like that. So you don't know any other way. And that's cool too. But there are some rules to texting. And again, some of you listening to this podcast have violated the rules. You have violated the rules on multiple occasions. And I know you're probably thinking to yourself, okay, well, what rules are there to texting? I got them right here. And these are in no particular order. And I know just from, like the first rule, I know when people are dating or they're getting to know somebody, they'll exchange numbers, and then for some, there may be a phone call. For others, there may be a text. One thing I found out from women, particularly my single friends, is that you can't call until you've texted that it's okay to call. Like if you get a woman's phone number, fellas, and it's established that the two of you are texting and you're texting back and forth, you can't call her until she has confirmed that it's okay for you to call. Right. And I wasn't really aware of that little game, but I mean, apparently it's a thing. And I think more so than anything else, it's about respect for someone's time and how they are actually moving. Because, you know, if someone is, it's like this. Someone could be in a situation where maybe they can't necessarily talk, but they can text. And that doesn't necessarily mean that you're with someone else, but maybe at that particular time, maybe you're at, dinner with, friends, or out having drinks with friends, or maybe you're just someplace where you really physically can't sit down and talk on the phone. And it's probably easier for you to text. You can't call them until you've texted to confirm that it's okay to call. And I think it's more of a common courtesy. I can see some of you dudes right now scrunching up your face, but chill. I mean, hey, it is what it is. You got to follow the rules. But again, some of you are violating these rules. So that's the text rule. Do not call until you've confirmed via text that it's okay to call. Right? I don't have many text rules or text pet peeves, if you will. And I think I talked about this on one of my other podcasts before, but it's worth repeating. And this is a huge pet peeve of mine. Replying with the word K. Oh my God, I hate that. I hate it. Especially if you're a dude. I mean, I don't really like when women do it either, but if you're a dude, don't reply. Even if you're not a dude, if you're a woman too, don't reply with K. Okay is a fine response, but not K. It's so childish. I mean, like, I remember one of my former coworkers, I should say, she asked me to, I was out, getting some lunch or whatever. And she said, "Hey, can you stop by Chick-fil-A and get me a lemonade?" And I was like, "Yeah, no problem." That was my response. "No problem. I got you." And her response was K. Man, I almost threw that lemonade out the window, man. I just, it annoys the hell out of me. Like, I don't like that. So yeah, fellas and ladies, do not respond with the letter K. I know it's short for okay, but damn, it ain't gonna kill you to type out 2 letters. Jesus. Another pet peeve. And this, to me, will literally get you cussed out. If you chop up your words when you reply to me via text, like, and what I mean by that is, let's say you're replying back to me and you want to use the word that, and instead of that, you write THT. There's no abbreviation for the word that. You write it out. If the word be is to be written out, BE, and you just write B. Or if you're writing the word for, FOR, and you just type the number 4. I mean, like, you get my point. Like, I'm big on English and I'm big on speaking and talking to people. And like, that really irks me when you abbreviate words, because here's the thing. Short words aren't meant to be abbreviated. Only long words. There's no short word that is meant to be abbreviated. Now if you abbreviate the word street with ST, that's pretty common, right? But you can't abbreviate the word look with LK. It's LOOK, dummy. Come on, man. Y'all killing me with this. Now, Again, I've seen that a lot. Personally, I don't allow people to respond to me that way. If you respond to me that way, I will cuss you out. My kids, when I bought them cell phones, my sons, the first thing I told them was like, look, you're going to type the words out. I know this is how you little farts talk to each other, but you're not going to talk, because I'm not going to sit here and try to figure this out or in your abbreviation. And, and here's the thing, slang and all of that stuff changes so much that, you really need like a hip hop dictionary to kind of figure this stuff out. And fellas, for the life of me, for the life of you, do not send a text to a woman WYA. WYA. Where you at? I mean, how hard is it to type where you at? Or where are you, really? I mean, that's the more grammatically correct way to say. But I know, when you text, sometimes we talk in slang via text. I get it. I do too, but not like that. But yeah, fellas, don't send a woman a text WYA. Come on, man. Come on, let's grow up. I mean, we're grown here. We're not 13. But yeah, I require that of my kids, that they, type their words out. Now, I've intercepted their text messages because I do read their text messages from time to time, because as a parent, you got to stay on top of that kind of stuff. And they do it sometimes with their friends. Their friends do it all the time. But, I guess that's how they communicate. But my thing is, you have to get used to doing this, I don't like that abbreviated shit. I just don't, for real. And I really will cuss you out, for real, if you text me like that. Okay, so now we're off my text rules. Here's another text rule. Don't text somebody and say, hey, did you get my last text? Come on, bro. They got it. Why are you texting them again to ask them, did they get the text before that? Now, if you call me and I don't call you back, or it's a missed call, if you text me and say, hey, did you get my phone call? I called you. That's different, because, you could be in an area where, this happens for me from time to time, where the call just didn't go through. And maybe it doesn't pop up on your phone as a missed call. That being said, don't text anybody saying, hey, did you get my last text? Yeah, I did, dummy. And I'm ignoring it just like I'm going to ignore this text just like I did that one. So yeah, people, we get your text. So there's no need to, unless something didn't, happen. The text went through. And I can't speak for any other phones because I have iPhone. I don't know any, I don't mess with those other phones. So no offense to you who don't have iPhones. But if you have a text and it doesn't go through, the iPhones will let you know, at least on your end, it didn't go through. So, whether or not somebody receives it, they should receive it. So there's no need for the, hey, did you get my last text? Yeah, I sure did, clown. Here's another one. And again, apologies to you Android users, because I don't know if you have the FaceTime option. But yeah, man, don't FaceTime people randomly. If you want to FaceTime someone, shoot them a text or call them first and say, hey, is it okay that we FaceTime? Like, I only FaceTime with like my mom, and that's it. Like, I really don't, I'll FaceTime with my son who's in college, but for the most part, and even I don't really FaceTime that much with him because, you're in college and he's doing things and running all over the place. And I know how it was when I was in college. I mean, now granted, we had no type of communication. I had to call home collect back in 92. But, you know, it's a different day and time, and I understand that. I accept it. But yeah, don't FaceTime people randomly. You want to get permission that it's okay because again, they could be in a situation where they can't FaceTime right then and there. They may be driving. Can't FaceTime. You know, they may be in the shower. They may be on the toilet. They may be at the barbershop. No, just don't FaceTime me just because. Text or call first and say, is it okay if we FaceTime? Cool. Boom. Hit the button. Let's go. But yeah, don't do that, man. That's a text rule. Don't break that text rule. And a lot of people out here violating that. And I think partly is because they want to see what the other person is doing. And you can't do that, man. I mean, come on. I know that, you know, you have access to people, but you can't do that. I don't even want to have to tell you why you can't do it. Just know that you can't do it. Here's another one that I found, text rule. And this is more so like, I guess from the dating aspect. Like, let's say I'm texting Sheila, right? Texting Sheila and we're getting to know each other. We're dating or whatever like that. So I send the last text and then I fall asleep. Oh, the next day Sheila's got to send the first text. I'm not sending the first text. Sheila has to respond because I'm assuming that because she didn't text me back, she went to sleep as well. So she should be the first to get the text messages started the next day. Simple, but hey, it is what it is. It's a common courtesy. Stick with the program. What's another one? Fellas. I hate to break this to you guys, but you probably should stop the good morning, beautiful text messages. It's kind of corny. And to be honest, most women know that she's probably not the only one that you're sending the good morning, beautiful text to. I hate to bust your bubble. But I'm going to keep it a bean here. I mean, for real. Fellas, don't do that. Just don't do that. Stop it. I mean, if she's smart, she knows that you're not the only one sending the good morning, beautiful text to. Or conversely, ladies, if you send a good morning, handsome, or good morning, my king. Get out of here with that king shit, man. Good morning, my king. Good morning, my queen. Man, y'all can take that shit outside for real. I'm sorry. I mean, and don't get me wrong. I'm not opposed to people referring to each other as kings and queens, but most of us don't even carry ourselves like that. It is what it is. Sorry. But yeah, the good morning text. She knows that she's not the only one. And if she doesn't know, I'm here to tell her and I'm here to tell him that they're not the only one. So, you know, you probably want to chill on that. Here's another one, a text rule that, I found that a lot of the, younger folks they tend to break this one a lot. They send a bunch of texts in a row. I mean, like, I thought the way that the text is supposed to go is that you send me a text. Some time passes, I respond, send you a text. Some time passes, you respond, send me a text. And it goes back and forth. But there's some people out here, man, they get off 7, 8, 9, 10 texts before you can even get one in. And I'm like, whoa, wait a minute. Where are we doing this at? And it wasn't really brought to my attention until my homie Matt B. You guys have heard him on here on the podcast. Matt and I, we don't text each other, but we communicate via Facebook Messenger. And one day, man, I was just chilling, and Matt like fired off like 11. And I'm sure he's not gonna mind me telling this. He fired off like 11 messages in a row, and I was like, wait a minute, I ain't even get a chance to respond to one. And then I just realized like that's something because Matt's so much younger than me. It's something that the young people do. And I mean, it was via Facebook Messenger, so it's not that big of a deal, but via text, yeah, you want to give someone a chance to respond, especially if you're hitting them with a lot of stuff. Now what we were talking about was something via hip hop. So I had a chance to respond to each point that he made. But yeah, if you're sending text messages, yeah, you shouldn't get off 10 text messages before the person gets a chance to respond to one. That's the text rule. So yeah, don't send too many texts in a row. That's not what we're doing. Oh, another one. The happy birthday, happy New Year's, happy New Year, I should say. Happy New Year and Merry Christmas text. I'm cool with that. The only problem is that like you have to assume that if you're sending someone a Merry Christmas text, that everybody else in their social circle is sending them a Merry Christmas text too. So after a while, man, I mean, at least for me, by noon, I'm about tired of the Merry Christmas text because you got like 20 different texts from 20 different people. So generally speaking, what I try to do is like on Christmas, we got a family group text, send a Merry Christmas in there. I'll post something on social media and that's about it. I mean, like, my group texts or group chats, I'll post in there on, WhatsApp or GroupMe or whatever the case may be. But other than that, just sending individual text, to me, it can become overkill because I'm assuming that everybody and their mama is getting, Merry Christmas text. Same with Happy New Year. I mean, like, how many times can you say Happy New Year? So, I don't do that a lot, individually to people, my friends. Birthday texts, I'm cool with. I think birthday texts are fine. I know at one point in time, not that long ago, people would pick up the phone to call you to tell you Merry Christmas or call you to wish you a Happy New Year or call you on your birthday. And then, now people are busy. So I assume that most people are pretty busy on their birthday. If you're not like in the crew or if you're not immediate family, I'm probably not going to pick up the phone and call you on your birthday. I mean, hell, if it wasn't for Facebook, I would forget most people's birthday anyway, because it's not something that we keep tabs on. Of course, family and friends, but outside of that, your associates, I have no way of keeping up. So yeah, Facebook, Facebook ain't good for a lot, but for me, it's good for that. I can kind of keep tabs on, who has a birthday and, send them a little shout out on their birthday. But yeah, at one point in time, we used to pick up the phone and say happy birthday, happy New Year, Merry Christmas. Nowadays we text and, that's cool in and of itself. Now, there's another text rule that I just thought of too as well. And I think we're all guilty of it. But one word text, those usually kill the conversation. What I mean by that is the proverbial okay or the always used LOL. Those are generally conversation killers. But on the other side, if someone says that, then I'm pretty sure that they're done with that text or with that particular conversation. So, if the conversation's flowing and they hit me with an okay or they hit me with an LOL, then that's probably it. And then, if you text with someone long enough and you get to know them and their friends or family, whatever the case may be, you pretty much know when the text, comes to an end. And that's cool. And you just keep moving. So yeah, just do that. Another text rule, and this goes without saying, and again, none of these aren't in any particular order. Don't take hours to respond to someone's text, right? I mean, we're busy. I'm busy. You're busy. We're all busy. If the text is important, it doesn't even have to be important. Just respond to the text. It doesn't take much to respond to a text message. I mean, it takes 10, 15 seconds, maybe. You can write up something really quick, boom, 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 and then that's it. But here's the thing. Nobody wants to hear, oh, yeah, I got your text. I just didn't get a chance to respond. Really? If you got my text and it was something that was worthy of a response, I'm going to need a response. I didn't send the text for my health. And, one thing I think people do a lot too as well is that they'll send a text and say they were too busy to respond. But if you got time to post on Twitter, if you got time to post on Facebook, Instagram, or Snapchat, you got time to respond to my text. Period, point blank. So I don't want to hear it. I mean, like you could serve somebody else that BS. Just don't take, it shouldn't take hours. I mean, now if you're busy, if you're at work, that's different. I mean, I understand. Yeah. Most people, depending on their jobs, they may or may not have the time to have a text conversation back and forth. We all get busy at work. I get it, myself included. Some people work. I don't know if you work outside, maybe you can't text at all. I don't know. But when you do get that moment, text the person back. That's it. Nothing more, nothing less. Another text rule that people tend to break a lot is when they do one-on-ones in the group chat. So we got a group chat going here. In the group chat is me, my man King Germ, and let's see who else. Matt B, and I don't know, my man Brandon from the Back Talk group chat. Let's say all of us got a chat, and this is hypothetical. We got a chat going back and forth, and it's a group text. And shout out to King Germ from the Frocast. And so we got the chat going back and forth, and then I want to ask King Germ a question. So then I asked Germ the question via the chat group in the group text. And then Germ and I are going back and forth with our text. But Matt and Brandon are sitting around like, okay, we're just waiting to get in. This is between the two of you. Don't do that. Don't do that. That's my thing is like this. If it's a group text and you want to hit somebody up about something individually, or if it's something that pertains to that particular person, shoot them an individual text. You don't need to have a whole bunch of back and forth between two people or three people, if you will, in a group text, because everybody's getting the notifications. Everybody's getting the notifications. And that's another thing too, like with group text, sometimes people will text, and I get this a lot, like during the holidays when they'll send the Happy New Year text and they'll send the Merry Christmas text. They might text it to 10 different people. Well, in that group text, I only know the sender. And then so when people start responding, oh, Merry Christmas to you too, they're sending me the text, but I don't know them. So I got these random ass text phone numbers coming up via text. I don't do that. Normally, if someone sends a group text and there's 10 people in the text and I only know the sender, my response will be to the sender. I'm not responding to everybody because the last thing you want to do is be in a group text that you were kind of put in, that you didn't necessarily ask to be in, and you got random people sending you texts. That ain't cool. That's not cool at all. So yeah, don't do that. If someone, and this is kind of simple, but I gotta say it. If someone asks you multiple questions via text, don't respond to just one of the messages. Respond so you can answer all of the questions that were asked, because it's only going to lead to them asking you again, well, hey, you never addressed this. I mean, I try not to ask multiple questions in one particular text or in multiple texts, but sometimes it happens. So yeah, don't do that. That's not cool. I mentioned earlier about, somebody taking forever to, get a response to your text. If for some reason you don't get a response, you don't necessarily have to get angry. Keep it cool. I know that's easier said than done, especially depending on the importance of the text. But, don't get angry. And, if you're getting to know somebody and they're taking forever to respond to your text or whatever like that, then you kind of see where they put you on their list of priorities. And if you're not high on their list of priorities, then you might need to focus your attention elsewhere. It's just not worth it. So yeah, don't get mad at people. You just kind of realize and understand they are who they are and just kind of keep it pushing from there. And the last thing, it goes without saying, but I have to say it anyway. The last text rule is, and again, these are in no particular order. Don't deliver bad news via text. Not directly to that person. Now, if I don't know, little Ray from 125th Street got shot, and you're telling, his fifth cousin, that might be something different. Somebody who's an associate or somebody who just knew him from around the way. Okay, yeah, that's different. Yeah, but don't tell somebody just directly some bad news via text. Oh, hey, your mom died. What? Come on, man. And again, you shouldn't have to tell someone this, but to be honest, a lot of people break that rule. And if they don't do it via text, they do it via DM. Don't send me any bad news via DM. Sometimes to get information out, yeah, you have to send a text because you can reach multiple people and you don't have to necessarily pick up the phone. So I get it. So yeah, sometimes it's going to be bad news, but when it has to deal with directly with the person that you're sending the text to, it shouldn't be bad news. For that, you can pick up the phone. So yeah, those are some of the text rules. I'm sure that some of you listening to this are like, yeah, I did that. If there's anything that I said on this podcast that you've done or you're doing, stop it. Just stop it. It's not even cool. So yeah, that's it. Text rules. You got them written down. Take a look at it and let me know what you think. Thanks again for checking out the latest edition of the 12 Kyle podcast. I'm your boy 12 Kyle. I'll catch you guys next time. 5,000.